to the 2019 Lollapalooza Spring Ring. Osseo UMC has been presenting a spring ring, well, say been scheduling a spring ring since 1993. I think we missed 2 years, one due to illness, another year due to some broken bones, neither of which I take personal responsibility for. And I think of the last 12 years or so, our very good friends Mass Appeal have been joining us. So this has given both choirs the opportunity to spread their collective wings and enjoy a more varied repertoire. For those of you who are old, and regardless of what the young people think, I actually was born after God invented dirt. There was a restaurant called Bridgman's. It was an ice cream parlor, among other things. And their favorite big deal ice cream sundae was the Lollapalooza, a huge dish in which you could get 5 or 6, or by the time you were halfway through, it looked like a lot more scoops of ice cream into it. And each of the scoops of ice cream had different toppings and sauces, and if you didn't like Butterburkle ice cream with pineapple, there was bound to be something else that you did like in there. So tonight's concert is a Lollapalooza with music from everything from movie themes to traditional Gaelic melodies, some gypsy dancing, Gilbert and Sullivan. Gotta be something for everybody on the platter tonight. And by the way, did I mention, speaking of delicious ice cream, there is a dessert buffet downstairs afterwards. But enough about why I'm here. Mass Appeal is about to share a song called The Rose from the movie of the same name in 1979. Bette Midler poured her heart into both this role and the song. We are going to share it tonight. We step back into musical history just a little bit further, another 40 years back, 4 years, and then 4 years again. Brings us to 1939 and the release of the movie The Wizard of Oz, 80 years ago. Wow. That movie is responsible for a small museum in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, and it also launched the career of a singer, what was her name? Judy Garland. And 80 years later, we're still enjoying a lot of tunes from that show. Mass Appeal has picked the cherry for the top of the the Lollapalooza with Over the Rainbow. Well, the next number is an Irish melody, and we actually don't know when this melody was written. It's been part of the Irish soul for centuries. It requires the full range of an Irish tenor to sing it, but its simplicity lends itself very nicely to instrumental arrangements. Sue, Jan, and Christy, only one of which does not have Irish in her. I'll leave that to you to guess. We'll present it for you now. So we'd like you just to picture the hills of green, the ancient castles, the tartans, those huge glasses of Guinness. Wind that back up. On a side note, Sue and Christy will actually be in Ireland on the 18th of this very month. So perhaps this can be a warm-up for them. Well, the jungle is alive, the plains are teeming with life, the drums are calling, nature is on the move, and Disney found another story they could tell. We learned all about the circle of life, we learned who wants to be king, and we can all feel the love tonight. And thanks to the Caroliners with Tom Fisher on the congas, we are going to take our little trip over there. And if you want to, you're free to hum along, because we know you want to. And let's let them provide the Lion King Medley. finest and most prolific documentary producers in the United States is Ken Burns. Whether it's an historical documentary about the history of jazz or American baseball or current news events or something on the national parks or an even longer list, his storytelling and the visions that come through his videography are second to none. His multi-part film on the Civil War can keep anyone glued to the screen. The music from that Civil War score added so much to our viewing experience. And the recurring theme that is called Ashokan Farewell has become a favorite. Well, it's a favorite for the Carolyners too, and they would like to share it now with you. Well, you may have noticed that tonight we are actually bookended by Goebels. We have a daughter over here, we have a mother over here, and as you noticed, they have disparate preferences in bells. One takes the very big bells, one takes the little tiny bells, and Sue always takes the what we call the baby bells. They have the high notes. And those of you who know her know that she also sings, and she sings soprano. So I don't know, I think it's fair enough to say that in some ways that girl is just trouble. Don't blame my wife, she didn't write that one. One of our Carolyners, I'll let you guess which one, Miss Christy Goebel, was a theater major in college. It's a lot easier to read than it is to say. She practiced her craft of stage production around the world on cruise ships, both local and across the country, in various repertory theaters. She also, and I blame her parents, picked up a deep appreciation of music. So if you add those together, you can put together a vast, huge list of favorite songs that could come from various musicals and shows. She has wanted to arrange modern major general for bells for a long time. I don't know where she got that, but you know, this spring ring, she's going to go for it. Now, for those of you whom that song trips right off the tongue, it's part of the score of Gilbert and Sullivan's
Pirates of Penzance.
Pirates of Penzance. Very good. My golly. I would have just said that right away too, but anyhow, she is a woman on the move in this piece, from the maestoso to the pesto. Actually, I think I tried to order that at Olive Garden the other night. Anyway, here we go. If you have pasta and antipasta, does that?
Makes music.
Yeah, okay. They rule each other out, but you may blow up. Salute the general. of the bell choirs and players, we don't make them write their own music, so I think that's pretty good. And I believe, according to my script here, it says that Mass Appeal is back with two great themes for the Lollapalooza musical production of this evening. Their first upcoming number here is Sunrise and Sunset from the movie Fiddler on the Roof. There were so many wonderful songs that came from that musical. It took on a whole new life when it moved from the stage to the big screen, to the little screen. It's probably a staple at all kinds of weddings where, well, when they play it, all the mothers shed a tear and the dads all go, how did they get that old? I don't remember. How did they? That's a dad's job. And I believe we have some bell shopping going on. So you can never have enough bells, but you can't have too many. The story is a girl who's a figure skater. She loses much of her sight, and she's still aiming for the Olympics. The movie is Ice Castles. The score for that was written by Marvin Hamlish, who also wrote the music for The Entertainer and a chorus line. Now, the pleasure is ours tonight as we listen to this theme from Ice Castles. Hopefully they have their skates all up tight and they are ready to take the ice. Oh, okay, yeah, that's probably a good idea. So it isn't a surprise to you. There is going to be a free will offering taken in case you have some money left over after you buy the dessert buffet. We use this to pay for upkeep on the musical type equipment. I know when you look at a bell and go, well, okay, great, it's a great big hunk of brass, but it has plastic parts and moving parts and other parts. So that's where it goes.
Before we begin our final song, I'd just like to take a little moment to say goodbye to a very special person to our group. About 5 years ago, this cute little junior high girl, passion for playing bells, decided to come and have her mother bring her to bells. She even played as well, so she just jumped right into it, was having a great time playing bells. 2 years later, she had four in hand, and just kept going from there. She has a true passion for what she's doing. However, she's a senior this year, and as all good bell players do, next year she's, of course, you can see she's grown up to be from a young, cute young girl to a beautiful young lady. Next year she's going to be traveling out to Arizona to become a rocket scientist. Part of the reason, by the way, that we were a little bit late in starting tonight is, besides this being her last bell concert, just before she got here, she was doing her last dance recital. She's been dancing for 15 years, is it? 15 years. And so we saw her running across the thing. I wasn't sure she was going to be able to make the first song that we did. She got here. They said, okay, she's here, let her process with us. And that's why we had to wait just a little bit. So Megan, thank you so much for all of your service.
Jan and Sue have never learned to duck. No, sorry. Jan and Sue have never avoided a challenge. Original wording. And they bring us a fun song each year. They usually come up with something a little bit different. This year it's Hungarian Dance by Johann Brahms. Now I know what you're thinking, Brahms, oh I'm going to go to sleep. This is not a lullaby. And while they were at it, of course, they decided they would pull in their favorite musical partner in crime, Ms. Linda Marty. They plunked her down at the piano, gently, gently. No piano players were hurt during the playing of this song. but they are going to entertain us with the drama and speed of gypsy music. So here we go, Hungarian style. Oh, okay. Catholics are saying no, so, okay, I guess it would have been his church. You would have had a chance to hear this song, Hallelujah, by Leonard Cohen. Cohen's song was originally written about troubled relationships, both biblical and personal. Many lyricists have penned words to span the rather hypnotic original music with their own plots. This arrangement by Joel Rainey has a luscious synth background that enhances the wonderful melody. For those of you who are still Horse fans,
Do not even think the revenge of the Sith. Just let
let that go out of your mind entirely. It's not where we're going. screen to the stage and back to the little screen now. time for a different kind of fun. And you get to be part of the action. This is a song by Jim Henson and Sam Pottle, and probably all of us at one time or another hummed or sung along at one time or another as we look forward to the antics of the Muppets and whoever was going to be their special guest that night. And then there were, anybody remember the Tool guys up in the side box up there? Oh, heckling. Yep, Statler and Waldorf. Yep, 2 old guys never really had any talent. They just complained and made wise remarks and smart remarks. Obviously my role models. The theme song from the Muppet Show is a gem, and the Carolyners are going to play it for us, and as they say in Texas, y'all get to sing along. The words are on the screen and in your program, so just wait for your cue and do your best to make old Jim Henson proud.
Keep talking.
Usually we don't have this many bells to play with, so it just takes a little while to get used to having these extras. We don't have the 5 octaves. So it's kind of fun to have something extra. Some people set them in the rack, some people actually ring them by hand. I've seen the guys that ring them by hand. They have biceps about this big. And yes, we will be officially thanking Aldersgate OUNC for donating the use of the bells for tonight. We are greatly in their debt. That's how we came up with these. We don't own them ourselves. But I think it's getting closer. We're at that point where we get to do some announcements and thank yous, and the first announcement I have is that there's a presentation to be made. So I will shut up and let the presentation be made.
I will use my outdoor voice.
It's on.
It's on now.
Is it on now? Oh, now it is.
It just took a moment. Oh,
First off, the Bell Choir Carolyners would like to thank Jan. We have been told that this is her last year doing this. She seems to think she has directed long enough. I'm not sure she has consensus from the choir, but she didn't listen to us. She never does on this sort of thing. So we took a... Yeah. I started before you did. But anyway, we have a collection and a gift, and we want to wish you all the best. There will always be a spot to ring and probably a place to direct if you so choose. But thank you.
This has been fun. I've been doing this for 31 years. And my husband and I just bought a trailer, and it's time to travel for a little while. I never lock any doors behind me, so who knows. But thank you all.
Well, let's see, we do have some other thank yous. First of all, of course, we want to thank all of you for coming. Choirs appreciate people who appreciate them, so we want you to know it's much appreciated that you came here to appreciate them. It wouldn't have been as much fun without you. I think we already said thanks, but we'll say it again for Christina Harold and the Aldersgate UNC for the loan of their 5 octaves of bells. All of us are agreeing with envy that look at them. It's a treat for the treble and the bass ringers, and probably those in between who get to play with them. We need to thank our kitchen crew for getting the dessert set up down in the fellowship hall for that dessert buffet that is not to be missed. Did I mention we're having a dessert buffet? Buffet, that's a French word, means all you can eat. Let's see, we need to thank Mike Goebel for videotaping tonight. Thank you very much, Mike. That's appreciated. And we should be mentioning Sue Goebel at night. They are always willing to help out whenever there's need here at church. And not every couple would decide that they should spend their 40th wedding anniversary here at church rather than being out somewhere frivolously spending their evening on fancy dinners and romantic things. So I think that deserves a special hand. Or possibly counseling, whichever. Let's see, we would like to thank Deb Rayberg for the fun slides we've had on our screens. So there are a number of people who have contributed to this evening's performance. In our last number, we will be thinking about the Scottish Highland pipes and drums. Now there is a sound that draws folks into the majesty of their music, or drives them away completely, one or the other. But it is an unmistakable sound. Bagpipes have called people to war and called people to peace. Their music can move us as little else does. And one of the favorites is Highland Cathedral, a song of love for bonnie Scotland. Tonight, this song accompanies the changing of the guard here at Monsieur. As we've already mentioned, she'll be stepping down after 31 years, and someone else can go the next 31 years. The Carol Hunters and Matt's Appeal close our program tonight, along with Tom Fisher on the drums. After this song, we'd like to invite you down into the fellowship hall for some socializing. And did I mention there's a dessert buffet down there? Yeah. Just a kind of a procedural thought. As we head out of the sanctuary tonight, you may want to bail out down backstairs into the narthex. Our good Methodists are conditioned to run out this door over here, but there's going to be a lot of carrying and all that kind of stuff. So unless you actually need the elevator to get downstairs, unless you really want to haul something, we can find something for you. You might want to just use the backstairs to get downstairs. Anyway, thanks for sharing this fun evening, and we leave you with Highland Cathedral.
Dessert. Yes, we'll meet you down there.